So, as many of you I'm sure know, recently there was the Overwatch Beta Invitational, in which I took part in, of course. A lot of people did. They were stress testing the servers, and sorry for the laggy bit right here, just at the beginning, and it'll smooth out real quick. And okay, and a lot of people took place in this because it was a stress test, and they wanted to, test the servers, and they pretty much handing out invitations to pretty much everyone who signed up for it, who bothered to sign up for it. And there was also, with that, the BattleBorn beta, a game very similar to this game, very comparable to it in the way that League of Legends and Dota 2 are comparable. They are obviously very different, and I just want to talk about the differences, talk about what I like, what I don't like, which one I'm going to be buying, which one I think is the best, or just in general, goods and bads of both of them, and just comparing both of them. I got gameplay of both, playing my favorite character in each of the games, which is basic assault rifle guy. They're pretty much very similar characters, like just dudes with assault rifles, and I kind of just like that kind of bare bones basic. I got a really good gun, and it's really cool, and yeah. So let's just get right on into this, starting with Overwatch, of course, is what we got in the background here. And Overwatch, let's start with a lot of the good. Okay, let's start with a lot of the good. Overwatch is very fast paced, and the time to kill is pretty freaking low. And it actually, I think, has one of the opposite problems to BattleBorn. In BattleBorn, people can often feel too tanky, and like you're laying into them and they're not dying, or it's so fast paced, like the movement in this, it's not quite as bad. Like that whole like movement and stuff isn't like people are everywhere. You know, you have tracers really fast, but it's not like so hard that you can aim really easily and hit people really easily. In BattleBorn, it's a lot harder. And even when you're hitting people, sometimes you can be laying into them, and they just don't die. And in this game, you actually find that you have the opposite effect. The most frustrating moments in the game is not when people aren't dying, but it's when you're getting one-shotted. Because the time to kill is kinda long. It's not like Call of Duty where it's like you take 2 bullets all the time and you're dead. And in a lot of cases, you can take quite a lot of punishment, even if you're not playing a tanky character. If you're playing Tracer, you will die instantly, but most of the characters, or her or Junkrat, but most of the characters are relatively spongy, actually. I was saying the time to kill is really low, but it's not like Call of Duty low. And so when you just get one shot out of nowhere, by a random ultimate, by a random sniper shot, by just a random ability, like some of the abilities will just one-shot the double helix rockets, or the triple helix rockets, I don't know what it is, of Soldier 76 will one-shot a lot of characters, if it's a direct hit. Reinhardt pins you against the wall, and you're probably dead. And it's a lot when you get hit by those, like, just random things, like, you're getting hit a lot, you're healing it up, you're been alive for a long time, you're feeling good, and then boom, like one thing hits you, and you're just like, well, that didn't feel good. And that's one of the big complaints I have about it. But I mean, it feels really smooth, it feels really nice, really clean. Obviously it's a Blizzard game, so it's gonna have all that. But there is a lot of problems with it. A lot of these problems are subjective, or subjective to me. I don't like it, or these certain things, and a lot of it, or not a lot, but some of it is actual, I think, problems with the core of the game. And so let's talk about what I think is an actual problem in the game, and that's the fact that in game, there's no like feeling of like accomplishment, I guess. Like, I mean, actually in game, like in Call of Duty, you're getting killed. When you go on a killing spree, you get your kill streaks. That's your high moment. That's your I'm feeling good. When you're playing BattleBorn, you level up. You get new skills. You get new abilities or new effects on your abilities, and that feels really good. In this game, your character is static throughout the entire game, and there's nothing you can change about them. Even in TF2, you know, you can change your loadout and stuff. I mean, and I guess again, I guess even this problem is subjective, but I think games now do need a little bit more meat to them, and there's just not as much going on for it. And I don't like when I'm like 12 kills and I don't feel rewarded for it, you know. And I don't know. That might just be me, but I feel like that is definitely something that a lot of other people will have a problem with. Using the ults normally feels pretty good, but it's like killing people just doesn't, like, for a while when you're playing, you're like, man, I'm killing everyone, I'm feeling good, but then it starts to feel a lot less rewarding, and that, because there's no, like, you don't gain power from killing people. People often, the respawn timers are very short, and pretty much no matter what game mode you're playing, and there's nothing like there for it. And I mean, of course that's a thing with TF2 too, but I don't know. I mean, that's just a small thing I have. Now, I want to look at it through the eyes of a competitive MOBA gamer, where there's a lot of stuff here that I don't like, and what I like a lot about BattleBorn is, and I'm talking about BattleBorn now, but don't worry, I'll get around to roasting that game too. Is the fact that in this game you play as, of course, a very specific character with a lot of character and a lot of backstory, and it kind of really messes with me when there's like when I'm playing Soldier 76, I'm like, yeah, I'm in the zone, I'm Soldier 76, and then there's Soldier 76s on my team, and there's 2 on the enemy team, and I'm just like, well, I mean, feels bad, I don't know. I just really don't like that aspect of it, and I mean, I'm cool with, 1 per team, or whatever, but like, when it's like so many multiples, I'm seeing 3 Reapers on the enemy team, and I'm just like, obviously doesn't happen too much, but when it does happen, I'm just like, why? I really like the style of it, when, you just have 1 per team or 1 whatever, and so I don't like the fact that it's a lot of people say this, that it's a lot about switching characters in-game, and they say that that's where a lot of the depth comes from, like learning what characters to pick when, and I want more meat to this game. This game has no depth. It feels like playing Call of Duty. And there's just no meat to this game at all. There's no strategy. It's literally shoot people. And like, I mean, there's nothing else to say about it, really. Or, shoot people, or do whatever your character is supposed to do, which is normally something very basic. Heal people. Shield people. And there's no meat. There's no meat. It really feels like Call of Duty without kill streaks. And, except you have ultimate abilities, which is pretty cool. And, I don't know. Like, that really bothers me. If you want to have it, like, with changing characters, maybe you can do rounds, and, like, in between rounds there's, like, a switch or something. I don't know. It's just a thing, and I accept that, but I'd rather not. Like, in TF2, this is another point I want to make. In TF2, you do have, multiple heavies, because you have multiple heavy, multiple dogs, multiple whatevers, but that is a really different thing to me, because it's a much more broad character. And I'm sorry, you're actually gonna have to watch I thought I didn't have this much to say. You're probably gonna end up watching the same thing over again. That's just my stats, whatever. It's much more broad, I mean, you could argue that, yeah, those characters do have a lot of lore and backstory and whatever, but I would say, the vast majority of people will never know that, never experience that. It's just, their roles are literally their names: the heavy, the doc, the spy. And so they feel much more general, and it's not like, yeah, I'm the heavy, it's like, yeah, I'm the heavy, it's like, you don't feel that sense of, like, identity with the character you're playing as much. So it doesn't, like, break it for me when I see another heavy on my team, and that's that's like a problem I have personally. I think a lot of people like the fact that you can change characters a lot, but when I go into a game, I'm thinking like a MOBA style. Like I'm gonna be like I played like 70% Soldier 76, and I never switch characters. I go into a game and I didn't switch characters, and I know it's a lot of people are like gonna be like, no, but you gotta switch characters. It's important. Like, no, I go into a game and I pick a character and I want to play that character, and I mean, I feel like I'm kind of almost punished for that sometimes because of the maps. You know, the character might not be as good on a particular map or in a particular spot on a particular map, and or they have some characters that are just like really good against me. And I'm just like, I mean, it's kind of something in League, but it's like, you know, I mean, you pick characters against enemy characters, but it's just I don't feel like I don't want to have to switch. I don't want to have to feel like I should have to switch. And I mean, again, what I'm saying before is that this is a lot of my personal problems I have with the game, and it might not apply to you. You might think that's cool, or I don't care about that, and that's fine. I'm just giving my personal gripes about this game. And other than that, though, I think this game just I don't want to like say this in a super bad way but it feels like they took like a Call of Duty and they were like, how do we make this for children? Now it's not necessarily a bad thing. There are games meant for children that are really good. You can take games like Animal Crossing, for example, and I love Animal Crossing. The game's great. I might be a competitive gamer, but I can enjoy my Slime Ranchers and my Stardew Valleys. But this game is just like, it's so dumbed down. It's like Heroes of the Storm, levels of dumbed down, and a lot of people are gonna think that's a bad thing. This game has no meat, no depth. You could give this to a 4-year-old and he could run in and play it, and that could be a good thing or a bad thing depending on your opinion. Personally, I think this game is best. It's not worth the price tag. This game is best if you just play in like bursts of 1 hour. You jump in. It's like Call of Duty. You jump in. You have some fast-paced, good fun, and then you hop out and go play a real game. I don't want to say that was a pretty low blow. I mean, this is a real game. It's very well done, very well polished, but just a lot of stuff just feels like it's not there. Okay, and we're gonna move on to BattleBorn now, and I will hopefully have more or better things to say about BattleBorn. Let's find out. And here we are with BattleBorn now. Gonna be talking about this game. And I have better things to say about this game than I do about Overwatch. I'm not gonna lie, but don't worry, I'm gonna roast in this game too.
Fight your way through waves of minions and defeat the enemy sentries.
Setting problems here. I want to make sure it sounds good because I was doing this to be
to enemy sentries
recorded.
to strip away their
shields
and leave them vulnerable
quiet it
to
down
attack.
even more.
Destroy shard clusters to earn shards.
The reason
Use those
why
shards to power
I like
tactical
BattleBorn
structures
a lot more than
throughout the
Overwatch
battlefield.
is this game feels much
Destroy
more
the enemy's
in-depth.
final sentry to achieve victory.
And it feels like there's a lot more meat to it. It feels
the party starts
I mean, just
3,
like there's so much
2,
more
1.
to it. So much more
Fight.
to do. I feel so much better playing this game than playing
Minion
Overwatch for an extended period of time. When I play Overwatch, yeah, this is great for like an hour. It's fast paced, and I get in there and I get tons of kills, and I'm like, that felt pretty good, and then I'm like, alright, go, okay, I'm done. With this game though, I mean, you could sit, this is like a League of Legends, you could sit down and play this game all bloody day, and probably have a lot of fun. I'm playing my favorite character, Oscar Mike, again, he has an assault rifle, and it's pretty strong. You get some upgrades and augments when you level up, a cloak, and a grenade that he launches from his gun, and his ult is a airstrike. Just for a little bit there. So what does this game have that Overwatch doesn't? First of all, it has levels. You level from 0 or from 1 to 10, and every single level, including level 1, when you start the game, you get to augment something. It gives you a helix, you will see that in this video, of course. I do believe I get to level 10. And it's like a helix, and you get to pick from 2 to 3 perks. As you level up the character, like outside of games, I'm playing them a lot. You will unlock a few other options. That's why it's 2 to 3. I've got quite a few levels in them, so I think like 3 of my choices have 3 options. And that it makes it feel really good leveling up. And not only, of course, do you get those, but you get a little bit of health or a little bit of shields. You get stats. You get stats, including bonus damage. And as you go through the game, you'll notice that you kill stuff faster and you do more damage, and it feels really good to have some sort of any kind of progression in the game. And of course, you can collect these, I don't know what they're called, actually, shards? Something like that. You collect those and you can use them to buy items. You can bring 3 items into the game, and you can use that shards to buy those items, or you can use them to build
mercenaries spotted on the battlefield.
robots to go down the lane, or you can use them to build turrets. And turrets are all kinds of things, like rocket turrets, machine gun turrets, and like accelerators and all kinds of stuff. And you get shards in a big way by killing these things, which is what I'm doing right here. And so between fighting the enemies, pushing the waves, building the stuff, and getting those and getting shards, and also there are mercenary camps similar to in Heroes of the Storm that you go and fight them, beat them, and they will push down the lane. And here I leveled up, so I'm probably about to put in my helix point, and you guys can take a quick look at that. I probably do it really fast though to be real. But as you can see, this is my main complaint with this game is the enemy heroes seem extremely bullet spongy. Like, it is really, they need to up the damage or lower the health on everything, because it's ridiculous. Like, even these these 2 like basic lane minions, I'm just like wailing at them, and it takes forever. There's the helix, picked up, I think, incendiary grenades, yep. So, most of the stuff is pretty cool. Some of it's kind of basic, it's like 18% bonus damage or whatever. But a lot of it is like actual cool stuff. So, what I was saying, here's a really cool thing. You get to pick between a red dot sight and a scope. I go with the scope because most of the time it's actually makes it easier, I think, for me to aim, but I don't know. I've tried both of them.
Mercenaries deployed.
Anyway, I'm sorry, keep getting off topic. So, like, you just shoot at people so much, and when it just feels like you do no damage, and even on squishy champions, and there's tanky champions that are just like feel impossible to kill. They're really big though, so they're kind of easy to hit, but I feel like competitive for this is going to be like pretty much the most boring bloody thing ever to watch. When there's most of the time when there's kills happening is because an enemy made a huge bloody mistake and just like got way out of position, or didn't go back to heal, or just was getting hit by tons of minions, like really dumb shit. That's typically when kills happen, just because people are so tanky. You pretty much just can't catch them out. There are some abilities like do a lot of damage on my grenade. If I hit someone with it, it will do a pretty good amount. And
hired muscle at this location.
There's just so many times too when people just get away with no health because you're shooting at them, and not only do they take a lot of damage, actually tanky, but the game is so fast paced. Like, it's so much faster than Overwatch that it's hard to aim. It really is hard to aim, pretty much no matter what gun you're using. And headshots do matter. You do crit on headshots, and that can be a really big deal. But most of the time it feels pretty random if you're getting headshots or not. I mean, maybe I'm just super unskilled, but it's really hard to consistently get headshots. Because they're moving, you're moving, it's very fast, there's other stuff going on, they're using abilities on you, and you're trying to use abilities on them in a lot of cases, and yeah. So that can be a big problem. even just at point blank range, it was so hard to do. You see guys failing miserably and missing so much. And I mean, it's partially on my a fault on me, obviously, by being a mediocre shot, but this really is a problem that everyone is just so tanky. Like, I can lay clips into people and not have them die. So I think when it comes to competitive, when it's 5 really good players against 5 really good players, there's going to be pretty much no death. People are going to know how to play and be able to play very safe. And I'm not sure how it's going to look when we get something like that, but I guess we'll see. And, I mean, other than that, I mean, there's outside the game progression where you get to unlock items and stuff. And items aren't necessary. They do impact the game, so I mean, it's kind of an outside influence, and I know people don't like that. I don't either. I mean, League has runes, and that's an outside influence, I don't mind that, and I don't mind this either. I mean, it's insignificant enough that it doesn't bother me. And another small gripe I have with the game is, so you see I'm getting these shards. I have a pretty expensive loadout, and oftentimes I will end the game with like 3,000 shards because there's not enough things to spend these shards on. I will upgrade every single tower as like every time I see it to max, and I'll buy all my items or whatever, and I'll still just have 3,000 shards left over. And like, I mean, it's just kind of lame. I mean, there could be other stuff to spend my money on, and to make farming those shards really hard and a more viable option. Because right now, one of the pretty much best things you can do is actually just kill your opponents. As you notice, that pretty much every time I kill someone, I level up. Leveling up or killing opponents give you a lot of experience, even if that opponent is under your level.
Hired muscle at this location.
And I mean, there's not really much else to say about the game. I really like it, and there's so much that could be done with it. I think the map is really lame, a one-lane map with like some jungle. I'm like, there's the other game mode too. I can't remember what. I barely played it. I can't remember how many. It might have been 2. Maybe I should have been playing that one. I don't know. I think it was 2 actually. Maybe. No, I remember that one. I didn't really like that map either. So they could do with a better map. I think what they might need is a more traditional map. I'm not saying 3 lanes, but you definitely need. I think you definitely need a more traditional 2-lane wave or minions coming down each lane type of deal. Because I feel like this game mode, this map. Not only this game mode's fine, with, you know, just your minions pushing down the lane and trying to kill stuffs. But I feel like it definitely needs that more standardized game mode. This game mode feels a little bit too, I don't know, just, it's like too small maybe? It's so nothing, right? You just stay in the middle of the map the entire time, except you go off to the side every now and then to grab up the coins or the mercenaries and actually really quick. And I don't know, that feels kind of lame. So they could definitely could make a better map. And I think a more traditional map would do this game really well. And of course in this game, it can be 1 per team, but it's only 1 per team. And of course, you stay the same character the entire game.
Our minions have
and that's all
engaged the
stuff that I
sentry.
think is a huge plus for a game like this.
Power play. Enemy forces at 40%
And it does a
strength.
lot of good. It does a lot of good. Like right there where it says the power
Brawl
play
mercenaries
enemies at
spotted on the
4%.
battlefield.
It's like indicators for new players, almost, or reminders for old players. Like, hey, people are dead. You should be doing stuff, pretty much. And it'll even say stuff like, oh, there's only 1 player left. Push now. And I mean, it's kind of hand-holdy, but it's nice. I think we might be able to turn it off, I don't know, but it's nice for newer players to have that. And there's just,
Enemies have engaged with brawl mercenaries.
it's honestly almost hard to talk about this game for as long as I talk about Overwatch, because there's not as much to say. It's just, overall, it's a very good game. Some of the gun models are too big, and it'd be nice if we could get that down. If you look, this gun model is huge. It's like a solid quarter of my screen, or of the screen, and there are ones that, there was a guy with a minigun that was like half the screen, literally. It was ridiculous. And I don't know how the meta is going to be or anything, but I think that the tanky characters are a little bit out of hand. Because, for instance, there's a character, I don't remember the name of, I played this shadowy character, I really should have remembered. I thought I was going to do this video earlier than I did, but whatever. And if they get on me as Oscar Mike, I'm like a damage dealing character, you know, I'm like mid-tier tankiness. I'm not super squishy, but I'm not super tanky. And if that person gets on me, there's literally nothing I can do about it. They just kill me. Even if I stealth, it's not true stealth. They can still see me if they are vigilant. And yeah, there's nothing I can do about it. The tanky characters are very tanky, very, very tanky, and they do a sizable amount of damage. And I think they're a little bit on balance. And some of them have some like ridiculous like invulnerability-esque ability, then it can be really ridiculous. And the damage dealing characters, on the other hand, they feel like they do mostly the same amount of damage, maybe a bit more. And they're also tanky as balls. Like I said, everything is tanky as balls. But I think a lot of the advantage to the damage dealing characters, they normally have some kind of versatility or some kind of range, really good range ability or something. And overall, I mean, it feels pretty balanced, with tanks being a little out of hand. And like I said, generally, I just wish everyone was significant, maybe not even significantly, but at least a bit squishier, because it's freaking insane. It's so silly. Even when you're like 4 levels higher than someone, you're just like doing nothing to them. And I mean, you can see it in this gameplay of me like laying into people and not being able to do much to them. Or maybe Oscar Mike is just really weak, but I mean, I did play a few other characters, and I played Benedict, and I played, I can't remember the name of the other person, Wrath, I think. And everyone just seemed really underwhelming in terms of damage. But I mean, even when I'm just watching my teammates,
enemy forces at 40%
sometimes you can get hit by something like totally ridiculous that just does tons of damage.
Only one hostile remains.
A grenade does a really, really high amount of damage on Oscar Mike. And so that's about all I have to say about this game. Actually, I'll just take it off here. I mean, the game's well polished, it's super fun, and overall, I think in conclusion, I should say, if you want a game you can really sink into and play for hundreds of hours, definitely pick up BattleBorn. This game has a lot more depth than Overwatch. It's definitely a game that I would buy, and probably will buy, because I really like this game. I really like Gearbox too, so I'm a little bit subjective there. Borderlands is like one of my favorite games ever.
A sentry is under fire.
And this game is kind of reminiscent of that.
Enemy forces at 40% strength.
You can definitely put hundreds of hours in this game because of the amount of depth and because of how each game feels a lot more different because of your upgrades and what you're doing. Overwatch, it doesn't really matter what map you're playing on. It doesn't really matter what you're doing. The matches feel pretty samey. Except I would compare Overwatch to Call of Duty more, actually, because it's very simplistic, and I'm not saying it's bad, it's a very good game, and if you are more casual, definitely pick that game up, or if you just want quick fun, if you don't want to sink hundreds of hours into a game, pick that up, because that game, you can play it for an hour, a few hours, and it's just quick, good fun, and I really like that game for that reason. If I wanted that as an option, and option over Call of Duty, because otherwise I would go with Call of Duty. You just go in, get kills fast, you get those high moments of wow, I just killed a bunch of people, or I just saved my team or whatever, and you get those really quick, and you get those really nice, and it's really smooth. Gunplay is good and everything, and yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about these two games, and they appeal to two different audiences, I feel.
Roll
And not that you
mercenaries.
can't like both or buy both, but you know, say if you're into the more, I want to be competitive, I want depth and meat in my game, and I'm not just looking for a quick good time, then you go with the Battleborn. If you're looking for the fast good time, you just want to do quick games, you want to, you know, not have to learn much, you want to just go hop in and have fun with your friends or whatever, then go with that, go with Overwatch. And yeah, that's really all I have to say about this. I'm going to let the rest of this play out. You can see my stats and stuff for this game, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Tell me if you liked this, hearing my opinion on stuff and whatnot, in the comments below. Deuces.